Hello, everybody. I'm Jesse Waters, along with Judge Janine Pirro, Jessica Tarlov, Dana Perino, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. The dumpster fire Democrats are channeling the immortal words of Hillary Clinton from back in 2016.
Now, having said all this, why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
8 years later, and the Democrats are still asking themselves, why aren't they 50 points ahead of President Trump? Semaphore pointing this out in a new article, quote, Trump's falling in polls. Why aren't Democrats benefiting? And one Democratic pollster sums it up this way, quote, voters don't necessarily trust that the Democrats are going to stand up for them. Even folks that are seeing pain from what Trump's doing see some logic in it. But come on, is it really that mysterious? I mean, have you ever actually listened to Chuck and Nancy?
Donald Trump is the embodiment of what the founders feared. Someone hostile, a president hostile to the rule of law, scared of debate, scared of opposition. So instead, he tries to crush anything he views as opposition.
This guy comes along and says he's going to lower prices. He hasn't. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. All smokescreen. But we have to make sure the public knows what is in their interest.
And good old Greasy Gavin's got a French laundry list of reasons why the Democrats suck.
We got crushed, and we need to understand why. Was it because of the incumbency penalty? Was it because of inflation? Was it because of interest rates? Was it because of immigration? Was it because we were too, quote unquote, woke? Was it because of the issues with Israel? Was it all of the above?
So, Dana, we're 100 days in, still struggling, the Democratic Party. Why?
I know, and every day I always look for something to compliment. I'll look for a green shoot to say, oh, that's interesting, that's different, and it's May. This has been since last November when they lost. And still, I think partly because they have been running against President Trump for 10 years. And as you can see, and they do know that their party leadership is so geriatric. I don't mean to say that in a negative way, but they are older people, much older. And then you have this contrast with the younger people, and their policy ideas don't align. So all they're doing is chasing after these small dollar donations and these little hits that they can try to get for the X posts or some sort of like something online so that they can make a little bit of money. And then their opposition is ready, fire, aim. So they're just doing everything. So for example, you just showed Gavin Newsom. I mean, he's supposedly a busy guy, right? He's governor. He's got a podcast. He's got to do all these things. Wants to be a party leader. Why is he doing the BBC? like if you have this kind of time and you want to be in touch with the people, I don't think that's necessarily going to work. Now, Trump's numbers have come down a little bit, but what's interesting is that hasn't meant that the Democrats have come up. They've fallen even further. So people are just mad at everybody. They don't like what is happening. I know that there are people who love what Trump's doing and there are people who hate what he's doing. What's happening is that the opposition to Trump is getting more and more agitated, right? They tend to amp up. They get so mad at him and they can't figure out why he's successful, and they tend to turn that into hate rather than to try to figure out, okay, here's some positive things that we can say that we could do and move forward. And I don't know when that will be, that they'll get it together. Maybe they should buy your book.
Maybe they should. Still on sale where books are sold. Judge Janine, a lot of a lot of navel gazing going on. Usually when you're stuck in a rut, you got to just take action. Stop thinking, just act.
Yeah, but the Democrats can act because there's nothing about them that's authentic. And that's the problem. I mean, they're fighting to be cool. And the truth is, if it's natural, that's great. But they're not natural. Everything is scripted. Everything is, okay, they got the memo today. Today we're going to sing, we're going to dance, we're going to curse, or we're going to pick your fighter. And the problem is it's more damning of the Democrat Party that if, Trump's numbers, let's say, are going down, the Democrats' numbers are not going up because Americans don't consider them a viable option. I mean, I don't know that it's just that they're mad at everybody, as that, like, the Democrats have never shown that they care about Americans. They're more concerned about Abrego Garcia. They're more concerned about the illegals. They're more concerned about men and women's sports. They're more concerned about open borders, cashless bail, and making sure that, they've got all these DEI policies. And the shame of it is it's such a missed opportunity for them. that, voters went for Trump because the Democrats didn't offer them anything. They offered them nothing that they could latch onto. And by the way, millennials are not obsessed or focused on DEI or all of this like threats to democracy. They're focused on buying a house. This is the first generation where our children are not going to be as successful or as wealthy as we are. And that really is an opportunity that is so missed. And at the end of the day, whether or not Donald Trump's numbers are going down, 92% of the voters who voted for Trump are still satisfied with their vote because he's doing what he said he would do. And, Schumer and Pelosi can get out there. Pelosi says, well, they haven't done anything. Well, has anybody talked about the fact that the price of eggs have gone down? No, it's just when they were high, they couldn't stop complaining about it. But now that they're low, they're not going to give Trump credit for that. Of course not.
Well, I'd like to disagree with Judge Jeanine on one point, Jessica. I think your children will be more successful than you.
I'm really struggling with that one because obviously it's insulting, but I do want my kids to do better than me. So
Brilliantly
let's call
done.
that one even. Yeah. Nice backhanded compliment. What I think the problem is that about 75% of voters went to the ballot box in November and wanted major change to the system. And Donald Trump was the change agent, and Democrats haven't yet proven that they're going to be demonstrably different from the campaign that was run. They don't have a new set of policies that they rolled out to say, this is how we're speaking to working class Americans, or this is how we have heard your voices, and we've decided to change course on how we deal with identity politics issues, et cetera. And I think that that's going to take some time, and I'm not overly concerned with it. In terms of getting the approval ratings up or people having more faith in them, I do think that the showdown over the reconciliation bill is going to be a major positive point for the Democratic Party. And the Republicans are out there saying, we're not cutting Medicaid, we're not cutting Medicaid. But when you ask the Energy and Commerce Committee to cut $880 billion, there's no way to do that without going through the Medicaid problem. And that is why David Valadao in California, just today, Bernie Moreno, the senator from Ohio, you have Josh Hawley, Susan Collins, are all saying that they can't support this bill the way that it's constructed because you have Medicaid cuts. There were 37 patient groups, American Cancer Society, Leukemia Society, Diabetes Society, who come out against the bill as well, saying that this is going to end up forcing patients and families out of the program. In 2017, Democrats were able to get it together, a la your book, because the Republicans out of the gate went after Obamacare. People do not stand for you coming for their health care. And if Republicans carry down on this path and they go with the reconciliation bill as it is, the big, beautiful bill, the midterms should, and historical precedent would indicate this, go very well for the Democrats. Does that mean that 2028 is ours? Absolutely not. But it does mean that we'll have a very good showing.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.